Hi, welcome to this episode of Love Sex Food Take 3. We have had some frustrating tech problems, thus, we are late with the episode this week. I hope you can forgive us. We have been traveling around Italy, having the most amazing time, starting off in Lake Como, which was absolutely stunning and beautiful, and full of just romance, beautiful architecture, incredible food, amazing gardens that just blew my mind, fun picnics, red wine for breakfast on 2 days, cheese, bread, and all things that are wonderful, and, and a bit of a thunderstorm. That was
Oh my
very sexy
god,
and
yeah.
romantic, wasn't it? I mean, Lake Como in the sunshine is stunning, but Lake Como with a huge storm with lightning, that you can snuggle under the covers and listen to the rain. It was just incredible. So we are now in Verona, which is one of the most romantic cities in Italy, although I couldn't choose because they're all incredible. It's the setting of Romeo and Juliet. I've already been out roaming the streets, having a food safari, which was lots and lots of fun, getting our steps in. We've worked out we can eat more if we walk more. So we managed to get 10,000 steps in even before we'd had our main course last night, which was absolutely beautiful. And fun in all ways as it ever is. So we're now in bed because we were supposed to be getting up to go to Venice today because we decided on the train to do something spontaneous and adventurous and just fuck it, let's just go to Venice. Wasn't on the plan, but it was too close to not go. And then at the last minute, I said, okay, let me just check. What night are we going to the opera in Verona, which has been on my bucket list for years and years and years? And I thought it was tomorrow, but I just checked and it was actually tonight. So we've averted a huge disaster where we would have been chilling, equally having a beautiful time in Venice, but not sitting. There'd be two empty seats in the largest amphitheatre in Verona, which is described as the most Italian place on earth. And just that phrase is making me very excited for
Yeah.
tonight. So as a result, we got up really early and now we've got this time to record the episode. And as I said, this is take 3. So fingers crossed that we don't disappear. Because Jigs probably get very bored of me asking him the same questions over and over again. Because today's episode is all about beauty, inspired by Lake Como, the amazing mountains, the lake, the very sexy little speedboats that are basically Ferraris on water. The amazing stylish people that we saw, the food, everything that was just yummy about Lake Como. If you haven't been, I really recommend. And also watching the film Moulin Rouge, which is the opera that we're seeing tonight, is based and inspired or set in the Moulin Rouge. So Jigs hadn't seen it. This is the Baz Luhrmann version, and so we watched it together. Had a few little tears, wasn't it? Because it's quite
Yeah.
sad. But what they talked about was the bohemian lifestyle of Paris. And the whole boho thing is something that I've always resonated with. Definitely lived quite a few years of my life boho, fancy free, traveling the world, living here and there out of just a small bag, embracing love, beauty, and freedom, which are the kind of principles of the bohemian lifestyle. So Jigs and I, obviously, love and freedom, 100% we're on board. So today I want to talk to you, Jigs, about beauty. And thank you for your patience because I think I've asked you this question now like 3 times. So beauty, what is beauty in terms of how we fall in love with people, um, how we see beauty in relationships? Like, what is it that is beauty the thing that really attracts us to other people? Is it skin deep? Or does it go to to the depth of your soul? And I suppose for me, beauty is always about simplicity. Nature is one of the main places where I find beauty. I had a little nature orgasm, didn't I, the other day when
Yeah.
we were walking around the gardens of Lake Como. I was just like, oh, wow. Well, oh. That's my nature orgasm
Yeah.
for the viewers.
Yeah, I mean, she turned a lot of heads. I'll tell you that.
So beauty has always been one of the places that I find. Sorry, nature is always one of the places I find beauty, but also I love kind of classical, glamorous, um, places. Like I love like Italy, just the architecture, the food, the cafes, the music. I don't know, it's effortlessly stylish here. And we're off down to Sorrento, which is one of my favorite places, the Amalfi Coast, which is full of beauty as well. And I think that's been a big inspiration for me. And then in terms of feminine beauty, I love classic elegance like Grace Kelly, um, Audrey Hepburn, some of those beautiful 1940s actresses, Vivian Leigh. I also love the kind of 70s, late early 80s kind of glamour of Joan Collins and all those girls. Um,
And who's your modern day
that
crush?
used to be on Dynasty in Dallas. And my modern day crush, I've remembered it now because on the first take of this, I couldn't even remember Margot Robbie
Yeah.
because she's so. I think she's absolutely beautiful because she can play so many different roles from Barbie to her character in Wolf of Wall Street, which I think is absolutely brilliant. And then the other night we watched I, Tonya,
Yeah.
where she plays like a kind of um like a kind of an abused sort of trailer park waitress that makes it as an Olympic ice skater, and still she was absolutely beautiful. So yeah, there's just that's kind of what I gravitate to, kind of that natural core essence of beauty, opposed to something maybe that's more of a modern beauty standard, like Kim Kardashian, for example, where I feel her beauty is a little bit manufactured. There's a lot of kind of focus on aesthetics, a lot of different layers of layering in order to achieve a look. Just Skims, her brand that's just opened on Oxford Street. It's all about kind of looking your best, but looking at your best at what cost. You know,
Yeah.
if you've ever worn a pair of Spanx or Skims, you'll know when you take them off, your whole entire body goes, "Ah, ah." And then, okay, you looked great whilst you were out, but, you gotta be with yourself. You've gotta be with your body. You've gotta love your body when you sit on the toilet and you've got all these rolls. I mean, I have quite a few rolls, but, you know. Anyway, what do you think?
What do I think? Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
because 'Cause I've just spent 7 minutes talking on this episode talking to
Yeah.
myself, so there you go.
So, so for me, beauty is very complex. I think for me, beauty should evoke a feeling.
Mhm.
And in order to evoke a feeling, I think you need to kind of engage all, all of your senses, right? I mean, something can be aesthetically attractive to look at, and that's all it can be. And I wouldn't say it's beautiful. I said, wow, look at that. But generally, I think beauty will evoke so many different emotions in your body. Um, Aesthetic is something that's good looking, something that's beautiful will y- you'll connect in a more um less physical way. But for example, someone's smile, someone's generosity, kindness, one thing that I find beautiful is confidence.
Mhm.
um and I think it's just because with confidence comes a calmness that people really have. So I think beauty, if you link beauty to something physical, most things over time will at some point kind of lose its firmness
Fade.
or yeah, or fade. So therefore the beauty will fade. But if you value beauty in a very different light, then just someone's confidence, smile, aura, energy, um, will never fade, even though their physical beauty might.
Mm.
So I think for me, beauty is definitely more than it is more than skin deep. Um, and but there is, I mean, obviously we're in Italy right now. We've seen some very stylish men and women. Um, but when you look at them, for me, like someone who's joyful, playful, smiles, has this glint in their eye, that's sexy, that's beautiful, that's attractive. But someone who's elegantly dressed, but is literally got a stick up their ass is less attractive and less, I wouldn't classify that as beautiful. I'll just say, wow, look, they're very elegantly dressed. So I think for me, beauty is definitely more than what meets the eye on the surface. It is about the person, it's about the qualities, it's about the persona, it's about how confident they are, it's about their mannerisms. But that's my definition of what I would find beautiful in someone else. Now
I heard
everyone's
that you found very beautiful blondes with kind of blue eyes, post 50.
beautiful.
Yeah, that was your ideal type. Is that right?
Yeah, but I haven't met her yet. I mean,
Shut up.
no, look, you were when you walked into the Velvet Bar, I was blown away. Like I was like, damn. And then
And
every
that's when I was in my little kind of more of my
hippie
hippie
boho
stage,
boho.
not dressed to the standard.
But then sorry, there's some Italian ambulance going past. Um, but then everything that happened after just added another layer, another layer, another layer, another layer. I don't know why right now I'm thinking of an onion, right? And you've got different layers to it as you ultimately peel through. And I think that to me is beautiful, not an onion. I'm just saying just the layering
You do
part.
like onions
I
though,
love
especially with
onions.
garlic.
Oh God, yeah. Um, but
That is beautiful for you, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, look, to me, the equation is beauty should evoke some form of emotion, some form of feeling, Um,
Sensuality. I think what you said
yeah,
then, I think beauty is a sensual experience because for me, beauty opens your heart. When you see something beautiful, you go, "Oh, wow." You actually exhale. Um, you're like, "Oh, okay, that kind of hit me in my essence, in my body," and you have that physical sensation. And I think that's different to say someone who's attractive who you could admire, like that lady that we kept seeing on the when we were walking around Bellagio, and she was an influencer, very beautiful, incredible figure. But again, a little bit manufactured.
yeah,
I mean, definitely her proportions maybe had been adjusted. But she was attracting the eye of many a guy, including yourself and another person, only
yeah,
because she was striking. Um, and and yet you said that you felt that her when because we bumped into her a few times that she never smiled.
no, there was kind of just an emptiness about her. Now, once again, no judgment because ultimately everyone has their own definition of beauty.
And their
Mine,
own style as
yeah.
well that makes them feel comfortable.
So I'm not judging her at all, but for me, aesthetically, she was absolutely stunning. But that's where it stopped for me because, then from just years of experience, I realized that, wow, like, just she doesn't have the softness that I like, that I love about you, the playfulness, um, the smile, the glint that you have in your eye, like all these things I find attractive. Therefore, to me, that's beautiful. That's why we're together. Um, so I think beauty. Do you know they say what beauty is? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder,
Yeah, absolutely.
and I think that is the perfect synopsis to say that everyone has their own definition of beauty.
Yeah, and I think for those people who do really want a polished aesthetic, then that becomes something that they enjoy. If you enjoy, making yourself feel 100% through, different procedures and Botox and things like that, or hair extension, whatever, and it makes you feel confident, then that is really important. And think that I would never. I love women, and I would never criticize a woman's choices for whatever they do, and I also have my own, particular preference. And and so, with myself, I feel at this stage of my life that I'm just in full acceptance of who I am. I'm not going to actually um waste my time because I don't enjoy a time for me is very precious, and I don't enjoy sitting in a hairdresser's for hours or getting my hair perfectly highlighted or having procedures and things like that. I don't enjoy it. I'm would rather get my shoes off and walk barefoot on a beach with no makeup on actually at this stage of my life. And I feel very at ease with that. I feel um very present with myself. And of course, I'm only going to get older. I'm not going to get younger. And I don't want to miss my life now by trying to be a younger version of myself. I want to be fully present. And I think that's another thing about beauty is that beauty arises in the moment. When you're fully present, you actually can see the beauty in so many things. Like, the noticing of things.
Yeah.
When you're just rushing around, you might not see how beautiful these like, I'm sure the people in Verona, because they see this all the time, they don't look at every single
Yeah.
balcony and go, "Oh my god, it looks insane."
We were on the bus when we got to Como, and we were driving along the coastline, and there were these kids on the bus, and we'd started watching a show, and we paid no attention to the show, and we were constantly pointing at, "Oh my god, look at that, wow, wow, wow." It was absolutely, it was breathtaking.
Yeah.
It was breathtaking. It was beautiful because it evoked emotion. And these kids, though, were just on their phones, and they didn't they weren't excited because to them that is normal.
Mhm.
That's just their
We would be
natural
the same with
environment.
London, wouldn't
Yeah,
we? I mean, when you're in the center of London, you're walking around, and then, you've got these insane buildings, and you don't notice. Well, actually, I do. I really do. You know how I like to be a tourist in London? I
yeah.
like to take myself off to places and sit in amazing spaces like art galleries or the Royal Academy of Arts you know, or just sat in the Savoy ones all day, just drinking a cup of tea because I just love being in there. So I think that I do notice, but I think it is being present actually opens up a whole world of beauty. And once you start to realize that, you realize that you always look exactly perfect and beautiful in that moment. You don't need to do anything to yourself to be more or less. You just are. And I think that's where I am at the moment with beauty, and also the fact that it doesn't matter how many times I go to the gym, how much I eat or don't eat, I still just stay the same weight. And also I've just surrendered to the fact that this new version of me is a more curvaceous and a more sort of squeezy version of me.
Well, I'm enjoying it because I love it, because that's my ideal.
Yeah, it's true actually, isn't it? I mean, my how you bloom actually depends on the gaze of whoever is there for you. And perhaps, if wasn't with someone as understanding and as so who loves me so unconditionally, maybe I would be thinking, oh, I need to be different. But part of the reason why I am really completely happy with myself is I really think I'm brilliant and I really love myself, but also you really love me as well. So that means that I can just enjoy my life without thinking I need to be different or
Or you need to be different for someone else. I think that's the hardest part.
yeah. I mean, I could probably do with shaving my legs a bit off more often if we were honest.
Mhm. And not missing patches.
Yeah. It's very funny because Jigs's grooming is of the highest standard. Like if he has one hair out of place, he will get a pair of tweezers. In fact, you have a pair of tweezers on you
I constantly.
whilst we're out in case one hair is out of place. Me, on the other hand, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. What I've got in the shower? Shit, I need to shave my legs. Oh, well, just use this bit of soap. Oh, here's a razor, like a couple of. That's it, I'm done and I'm out. And then Jesus is like, have you shaved your legs? I was like, yeah, I have. I've actually shaved my legs. He's like, really? Okay, well, let's go back and maybe I'll shave your legs for this time. So yeah,
I
but
have shaved her legs on many occasions.
but see, because to me, I think actually one of the things that's got me to this point is I've had so many versions of me in my life, and I've loved all of them. Some of them have challenged me a bit more, but I started off in life with being ridiculously tall, so much taller than all the boys in my school that I never got asked out. Never, no one ever asked me to dance, to the disco and all of that. I was literally like 5'8" by the time I was about 11, 10, 11. And so I was really conscious of that. And I used to feel quite manly because all the boys were like so much smaller than me. And I had my mum enforced like a 1980s perm on me, which I hated. And I had braces on my teeth and I had no boobs and I was really skinny. So that was one version of me. Then there was sort of another version that bloomed through university, which kind of I don't think I'd found my style then. I was trying out a few different things along the way. And then when I had my kids, then there was a city version of me. I had short hair because I thought that would make me look more businesslike. You don't know, you never seen a
No.
picture of me like that. I mean, my hair is my superpower, so I looked totally different. Didn't like that version. And I didn't like being a lawyer actually. And then as I blossomed into this version of me, it's when I had kids, it's when I truly relaxed and let myself enjoy the things that were meant for me, being a mum, starting my own business, having a very simple life, very, very simple life when I had kids. Just didn't want for anything. Yeah, just wanted to be with my kids, be out in nature, play, have fun, enjoy all of that. And so it's continued, After my divorce, I went traveling for on and off for about 3 years, lived in the jungle, lived in the beach, lived up mountains, lived by the lake, swam in the rivers, walked barefoot, totally different version of me again, and I loved it. So all of those different versions of me have made this version now, which feels very peaceful and grounded. And maybe that's what beauty is actually, peace.
Well, it's beauty should definitely not spike your nervous system, right? It should actually calm your
I don't
nervous
I don't
system.
think it does. I
No,
can't think of
exactly.
anything beautiful that makes you stressed.
No. So, you know, there's definitely a level of calmness that it brings to you. Like, if you find nature beautiful when you go out in nature, then what will happen to your nervous system? It will just kind of
Mm,
flatline, right? Um, so yeah, beauty definitely is linked to the way that you feel.
mm. So say obviously you said beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but like what in the past, because obviously if you've listened to our other episodes, you'll know Jigs has been on 500 first dates, not days, but 500 first dates. So you must have sat across or, met at least 500 women for a date. And I think in a date, you do evaluate people on what they look at. I think there's some stats which is in the first 30 seconds of meeting someone, visually, you assess, okay, I think it's, are you going to fight them? Are you going to uh, eat them? Or are you gonna fuck them? I think that's what they've kind of divided it into. You look at people and you're like, "Okay, which category do they come into?" Obviously, the eating part is more like, can I overpower them? You're assessing them. Like, am I stronger than them?
Right.
Are they gonna be are they more the prey and I'm the predator? That's what our basic, like, reptilian brain
Yeah.
does when you meet someone. You can't get away from that because that's your built-in, like, survival system,
Program. Yeah.
when you meet someone. So let's put that aside. But when you've met all these women, what were some of the things that you feel perhaps, weren't made them less attractive to you? Because there might be people listening, particularly women, who are like, "Oh, I need to look like this and I need to look like that." And the reason, if I was slimmer, I'd have a partner, or if I was fatter, I'd have a partner. All of these different things, all this different kind of, seeking, searching from meeting 500 women for dates. What would you say are the things that have struck you immediately as beautiful?
So I think breaking this down logically and in steps, first and foremost, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't be there if I didn't feel some form of physical attraction,
Mhm.
right? So that's, so that's a given that it then turns into an in-person date.
And that's based on photos, is it?
That's based on photos. Most of the time, there would be some form of interaction. So after the photo connection, is there any depth in the profile to lead to, hey, I want to reach out to you? Then there would be some form of comms or messaging or even a phone call. Now, if there's no spark or no connection there, if someone's too serious or if someone is very vague or if there's no connection at that point, then it won't lead to a meeting, right? So let's just assume that I'm physically attracted to the person. They have sparked in some interest and curiosity in I actually want to meet this person in person, and then once you meet the person, I think then it's just a million things, right? It's like, well, am I am I physically attracted to this person in real life now? Because do the pictures match the person there? Um,
Which you said mostly that is.
Most of the time they did, and I was very, I was very grateful. On some occasions, no, which then led to, well, that's another question at another time on why you put profile pictures that are outdated
Mm.
on your profile, because that's a conversation I have with a lot of ladies that I work with on building their dating profiles out there, and ultimately what goes on there. So I'm attracted to them physically. There is a bit of banter there, and then when I meet them, I think so much so much can be told from the energy and their calmness or their confidence or how they are, right? So if they're a bit uptight or I mean, obviously everyone can be nervous.
Mm.
When you do it 500 times, you're not particularly nervous. But I don't put pressure on a first date. I just say, hey, look, there's obviously a connection. Let's go out and let's just see if there's anything there. So when you're there in person, um, are you attracted to them? Are they, is there, are you both on the same frequency?
Yeah.
And by frequency, I'm talking about humor, wit, um, s- story exchanges, um, you know, then kind of once that moves on, then where do you see are your values aligned? Now, you're not going to sit there and say, right, give me your top three values. And I say, kind of, here's my top three values. But ultimately, then what you're doing is that you're digging deeper and deeper past the physical into the more mental and spiritual and energetic side of a person, because then you want to see if you're aligned over there. So I think that is, for me, the process that I generally went through when I went on a first date. And there were many times, obviously, there were at least 499 times
Mhm.
where it didn't work out because on on the 500th it did.
Mhm.
And it was our 6-month wedding anniversary yesterday, actually.
Yes.
So
And we celebrated by going on a food safari and eating tortellini on the streets, playing kind of potluck because we asked for an assorted tortellini and we didn't
box,
know
yeah,
which one was which. And so Jigs had to taste. He was my official food taster last night and had to have half a bite of everything first to see which ones were vegetarian or not, which was very funny. And we didn't have I didn't get any meat by mistake, did I?
no,
You were very good. Obviously, you are the man for the job, tasting food on my behalf
that's it.
and then feeding me. Yeah, and we also went
We
to
had a train picnic.
yeah, we had a train picnic. We've had lots of great little foodie experiences to celebrate being here. Yeah, and I think it's interesting because do women do women choose men because they're beautiful? I don't know about that. I think that. I mean, this is very, very, very specific to the person because some people do have a fixed idea of what they want their man to look like, which, is based on, I don't know, what they feel, what they've experienced in their life, um, archetypes, or what you see on social media, all of those different things. And I do have friends who are like, oh, I want him to be tall, dark, and handsome. I want him to have blonde eyes, blonde hair, blue eyes, and abs, or whatever it is. But like for me, I've always, yes, of course, someone has to be sexy and gorgeous, like you are. But that would never, ever, ever be enough for me. I think safety is the thing that is the most beautiful thing that a man can give a woman, and vulnerability in men, to be honest, is one of the most beautiful characteristics that a man can share with you, because emotional depth and vulnerability means that you can open as a woman into that. You can feel safe and you can feel seen and heard, because that man is also saying, I want to be seen and heard. And that to me is a very beautiful. Vulnerability is beauty.
Mm.
It's that tenderness, it's that softness, it's that, I'm going to trust you to open up and be my authentic self. So to me, that would always, always, always trump any type of physical beauty for me. It has to make, I think, what I find beautiful in relationships is intimacy. And
So we're saying no to start over substance.
yeah, which is weird because in life, what am I like about restaurants? I'm like style over substance, and always, because I love being I love a beauty aesthetic outside in things around me. Um, I mean, it's great if you get style and substance, but I am changing a little bit since I've been with you, because, sometimes like, say, for example, in India, where we eat street food, there's no style there, but the
Mm.
food is so bloody good that it's like, yeah, okay. But also there is a kind of a weird style about that. It's the authentic rawness of it.
Mm.
That's actually an attractive aesthetic. So when I say aesthetic, it doesn't have to be, it's not really the beauty, it's, I love experience. I love environment. That's what I would say. And so if you think about it, I love environments that inspire me, and I love people around me in my environment who inspire me. And that's what I think it is for me. That's what beauty is. That's what gorgeousness is.
Gorgeousness.
Yeah.
Well, I think that concludes our
Does
episode.
it? Does it? You cut me off. You just pointed at the time. It's 32 minutes. We haven't done a long one for ages. But yeah, no, we can go. You can go because probably do you want a coffee?
I want a coffee. I want to walk the streets of Verona.
Do you want to
Um,
go to the opera tonight rather than tomorrow when we didn't have tickets?
and it's not on. Yes, please. I'd rather go tonight.
Oh dear. See, that's where adventure is good, but it must be balanced with a little bit of structure. But in my case, my intuition always, always saves me. So thank you, thank you, thank you for whoever looks after me and taps me on the shoulder around these things. So yeah, we will conclude this episode today. So next one, which should actually be coming up in theory tomorrow, because we
Yep.
do the one on Saturday. That'll be Jigs. Um, Talking to me, but maybe we might move it on to Florence, our next destination. So if you can hang on a few more days. But thanks for joining us to this for this episode. Do like and subscribe or share. Follow us on Instagram at Love Sex Food. We are still planning our London food safari
In
in
August.
August, which we have a few people who are interested already. More details will be coming out. We'll have an event on
It,
Eventbrite.
it is a singles one, isn't it?
It's a singles one, yeah, it's a singles one. We just thought that would be even more fun if we could actually manifest some love. Um,
So it's limited. It's very limited. It's
yeah,
intimate. It will be in central London somewhere.
yeah.
I think we have a place, a part of town, but just DM us for more information. And yeah, we'd love to host you.
Yeah, totally. All right. So we will see you next time. Thank you for listening today and have a good one.
Until now, bye.